Hey guys, and welcome back to Geek Time.
This is DizzieDee.
And this is Shaq.
This week we're gonna talk a little bit about planning your visit to a Comic-Con.
So first of all, you want to check that your schedule doesn't clash with a convention.
Yes.
Because if you buy tickets, then you find out you can't go to the convention. A lot of conventions do not refund tickets.
Yeah, and a lot of them as well, your name is on the tickets, so they don't like you giving your tickets to other people as well. So just make sure you don't have a wedding booked or anything like that, or graduation ceremonies, I don't know, anything, literally anything.
Don't leave it too late, because sometimes conventions run out of tickets, and if you think you can get extra at the door, they sometimes do release door tickets, but very, very little amounts.
Yeah, because there is a thing called fire regulations, and if they've hit the maximum amount of people that they can have in the convention centre, you're not getting in.
Sometimes with tickets, don't forget, sometimes the earlier you book them, the cheaper they are.
Exactly, and there's also different tiers as well. Some of them do early bird tickets, and some do standard entry, weekend tickets, and things like that. I recommend, if you don't like getting up early, do not get the early bird tickets. Right, so plan your day is the next step. You've got your tickets, so you know what time you are going to aim to be there for. Now, it all depends on what you actually want to do at the convention, because we've all got different tastes, really. It's like, I know some people who just want to go for sign-ins, and with sign-ins, there's a lot of queuing going on, so you've got to factor in time for that. Obviously, the bigger the guest is, the longer the queue. So, that is one of the things to start with planning your day. What else do you think about when you're planning your day?
I mainly think about food. So there's been a lot of times I've gone to a convention and completely and utterly forgot to eat. And then it comes to the end of the day and I feel like I'm going to pass out. So you want to schedule food, you want to schedule what time your sign-ins are, if you're going to see sign-ins, or what time you're meeting up with photographers, if you're getting costumes, photos done, the look around the stalls, if there's any panels you want to look at, just plan your day.
Definitely, yeah. So with the panels, the schedules are usually out in advance on the convention's websites. If they're not, just send them a message on Facebook or through email, and I'm sure they'll actually send you the times.
So another thing about going to conventions is that you should really plan your budget as well. So if you don't have enough money to spend at a convention and you see something that you won't be able to buy anywhere else, you'll be very devastated at the end of a convention. Also, you need to budget food, water, if you need to pay to use the toilets. I know it's an unusual one, but it depends on where you live. The transport you need to pay for, it's all there.
Parking as well, especially with the London conventions, parking is very expensive. All city parking is expensive, so just be mindful of that. Don't spend all your money on food, like some people do. It is a very important one, because I always go in with a budget and I'm usually alright, but things like TF Nation and CooperCon, I tend to splash a lot of cash. So I make sure that I've got literal physical cash in my wallet so I can see it, but make sure you keep that safe from anybody else. You've planned your schedule, you've bought your tickets, you know what you want to do with your money. So, what to pack? So, I highly recommend you take a backpack with you to a convention. Don't carry a big massive suitcase. I've done that before. It's really annoying, just like carrying your case around a packed convention. Don't do it. Just take a backpack. So what things do you need to put in this bag?
First of all, I'd say leave a bit of space. So anything that you buy at the convention, you're able to put in your bag and you know it's safe.
Yes, definitely. Especially with the new government laws about, with you have to pay for carrier bags. Some of these stores are pretty good though. They will give you a plastic bag, but you don't want all that. You just want your backpack, so you can chuck all the stuff in there. Also, I recommend taking in some water with you, because like we said in the LFCC video way back when, bottles of water can be very expensive in a convention. It was £3 for a bottle of water. It's like, what? But they've got to be sealed. They will not let you into a convention if they aren't sealed.
What you want to do as well is check with the convention if you can take any other food with you, just in case you don't have time to leave the convention if they're not serving food there and go to town. It could be quite a long trek away to get food, but most conventions do put food at the venue. Also in a bag, if you're a cosplayer, you might want some bobby pins, some needles, some thread, anything that you could use to repair your costume in case it gets damaged. But don't go overboard and take things that are not suitable for conventions, like hot glue guns.
Yeah, they will not let you use a hot glue gun because of health and safety. They won't let scissors in as well. If it's a little tiny like nail scissors, that's fine, but if anything like bigger, then they will not let that. Knives and things like that, obviously you can't take.
So this goes for cosplayers and non-cosplayers. This just goes for everybody. It usually gets very hot in conventions and very crowded and very sweaty, and we'd recommend taking deodorant, and you've got to be a bit careful with this one, just because some people have got asthma, so we'd recommend taking roll-on deodorant.
Yeah, definitely. Or even some aftershave, some perfume with a little spray nozzle or splash. That's something, because yes, you do, and I personally know this, in my Buzz Lightyear, get very sweaty, and I've usually got roll-on, antiperspirant, deodorant and aftershave in my bag, just in case.
We're almost at the end of the list, but one thing you might want to check is the facilities at a convention, such as changing rooms, toilets, food venues and
cash points. That is another really good one, because a lot of places either they don't have cash points or they're charged ones, and there's usually a free one just outside the convention. So that's really what we want to do, is just get your cash for free before going to the convention. So another one I recommend before going to a con, if it's your first time going and you're a little bit nervous, anxious about going, then I recommend going onto Facebook and joining some groups. A lot of these conventions have specific groups for their convention, or there's some generic ones like the ones that we set up years ago, so the Welsh Comic Cons and UK Cosplayers group, so you can join that, talk to people on there, and you can arrange then to meet up with people in the conventions, just so you know somebody there then, and it'll be a lot better.
The only thing I can say with the Facebook groups as well is just be careful who you're talking to, and check their details first. So it might be worth going with one other friend and meeting up with a group, but make sure it's kept at the convention and where all the general public can see.
Definitely, yeah. Also check the rules and guidelines of each of the Facebook groups. Know your admins as well of the groups, because they will be there to help you. And if you do feel a bit uncomfortable at a convention, say like you have met somebody and they don't seem to be the person that they were when you talk to them online, the staff at all conventions are there to help you. So that is our very first tip video for Comic Cons.
This is not a have-to-do list, but this is a thing that we like to do and that is good for tips.
Recommend.
What we recommend, some tips you can take away.
Yeah. So anyway, this has been DizzieDee.
And this has been Shaq. Bye!
Thanks very much for watching.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Give us a little share if you're feeling generous.
And check out these other videos.